Alhamdulilah wa salatu salam ala Rasulullah. I'll never forget that when I was being driven to college orientation and I was going to dorm by my father, rahimahullah, we spent a 3-hour drive driving, and he was, just pouring. He was just talking to me and giving me advice. And I didn't forget the advice that he gave, the journey and the advice and the moment. Alhamdulillah, I didn't forget the advice that he gave. And so I know that this is something that's repeated by many people, in that particular moment when you're letting go of your child and they're going to go off into the world without you. Parents, they want to give you something that's substantial. And I imagine that, and even parents who their children are getting married, the same thing. You're not going to be there for the details of their life anymore. And so you want to give them something that's heavy, something that's weighty, something that they'll be able to hold on to. You want to give them the best advice. You want to give them something that they'll be able to that'll keep them straight for a long period of time in your absence. And the Prophet ﷺ, who's like the father figure for this ummah, he gave Mu'adh ibn Jabal advice. And Mu'adh was about to journey to Yemen, and the Prophet ﷺ gave him the advice, and he said to him, Ittaqillah haythu ma kunt. Have taqwa of Allah Azza wa Jal wherever you are. Have taqwa of Allah Azza wa Jal wherever you are. This was the advice that the Prophet ﷺ gave him, and he gave many companions that advice. And in fact, the Prophet ﷺ gave this advice to us. He gave this advice to the ummah in the hadith of Al-Irbad ibn Sari, who said that the Prophet ﷺ was giving them an admonition. He was giving them a sermon that made them, it was so emotional. And they said, Ya Rasulullah, this address is like someone who's bidding us farewell. So give us advice. And so what advice did the departing Prophet ﷺ have for his ummah and have for his companions and everyone who would come after? He says, Awsikum bitaqwallah. I give you, my advice to you is to have the taqwa of Allah Azza wa Jal, wa bisam'i wa ta'a, and to hear and to obey. And the hadith goes on. But the first thing that we are advised to do is to have taqwa of Allah Azza wa Jal wherever we are, in all circumstances. Whether you are secluded in a place, whether you're online, whether you think nobody knows you or this won't be traced back to you, to have taqwa of Allah Azza wa Jal and to have that fear of Allah, that consciousness of Allah, and to recognize that even if no one sees you, Allah Azza wa Jal sees you, and even if no one is present, Allah Azza wa Jal is present. May Allah Azza wa Jal make us of the people who are always conscious of His presence and be of the muttaqeen.